In this video we're going to be looking at drawing linear graphs. We looked at these in a previous video and explored how to do it using a table of values. In this one though, rather than plotting several different coordinates, we're actually only interested in plotting two. So let's look at how we do this. In order to plot the two coordinates, first of all I'm going to see what happens when x equals 0. Now when I actually do this in the equation, I use a method called the cover-up method. It means that I take my x and cover it up. So anything that is underneath my hand at the minute that I can't see is 0. When this happens, I'm left with 3y equals 24. That's quite an easy equation for me to solve. This means that y equals 8. This generates the coordinate x is 0, y is 8. And then what I'm going to do is repeat the process for the other side. So this time I'm interested in when y equals 0. And notice as well, I start from the bottom this time. So when y equals 0, I cover it up. This leaves me with 6x equals 24, meaning that x equals 4. This gives me the coordinate 4, 0. Couple of things to notice here. When I work downwards on this side, it doesn't correspond to what I'm doing on the other side because I actually work upwards. What this does is it helps me not make the mistake of getting my x's and y's confused when I write down my coordinates. So let's look at plotting these. The first coordinate is 0, 8, which is up here. And the second coordinate down here at 4, 0. Once I've got these two plotted, I join them up using my ruler with a straight line. And that's the question complete. Here's a second example. Again, I'm going to start off by looking what happens when x equals 0. So I cover that bit up. Now I've got to be really careful here. This does not say 3y equals 6. This leaves me with negative 3y equals 6. Negative 3 times by something to give me a positive 6, y must equal negative 2. Then I look at what happens when I make y equals 0. I cover up the y values. This leaves me with 2x equals 6. X therefore must be 3. This two bits of working out generates the coordinates 0, negative 2 and 3, 0. Again, like in the previous example, I start here when x equals 0 and work downwards, and once I've done that I look at what happens when y equals 0 and work my way upwards. Once I've got these two coordinates, 0, negative 2, which is down here, and 3, 0, I plot both of my coordinates, join them up with a straight line. Here are some for you to have a go at yourselves. Pause the video here and try these. When you're ready for some answers, hit play. Okay, in this one, first of all I'm going to see what happens when x equals 0. So I cover up this part. That leaves me with 3y equals 15, y equals 5. Then I see what happens when y equals 0. So I cover up the y bit and I'm left with 5x equals 15. This means that x equals 3. This corresponds to coordinates 0, 5 and 3, 0, which I then join up with a smooth line. The second example, I want to see what happens when x equals 0, so I cover that one up, leaving me with negative 4y equals 4, meaning that y must be equal to negative 1. Then I see what happens when y equals 0. This leaves me with x equals 4, and there's actually nothing more I need to do to this. It's already told me the coordinate. So I go ahead and plot these, 0, negative 1, and 4, 0, join them up with a straight line. The third and final example, again I'm going to see what happens when x equals 0. So I cover up the x part. This leaves me with 3y equals 18. Y must be equal to 6. Then I see what happens when y equals 0. This leaves me with 4x equals 18. X must be equal to 4.5. So I plot these 2 points. 0, 6 is up at the top, and 4.5, 0 is down there. Join them up with a nice straight line. Well done if you got all of these three correct.